The year is 2077. Joe Biden is the dictator of the American Commonwealth. Just after his re-election in 2076, Biden reorganized the United States into the American Commonwealth and immediately dismantling Trump's border wall to let all the Mexicans in, causing civil unrest.
In a land where the future met the old frontier sky, rode two old men with a glint in their eye. One called Trump and the other called Biden. Saddle up for the showdown, no more hiding. They fought over cities in this wasteland remains. Citizens trapped in an endless refrain. Red slapped the blue and blue fought back as dusty streets trembled on the rusted tracks. Oh, the ballad of the modern frontier. Two old cowboys gripped the nation with fear. In a world fully apart, they drew their guns as the sun set slowly on what we'd become.
The Patriots decided to take action rather than sit around and see the new Commonwealth fail. These Americans rallied under former President Donald Trump and appropriately named themselves Trump's Patriots. The Patriots decided to stage an insurrection, just as their ancestors did to combat Biden's tyranny. Trump decided to set up his base of operation in the Mojave Desert, where the resistance would operate from. The first show of force for Trump's Patriots would come on January 6th in Washington, D.C., 2077. They all came armed and ready to overthrow the dictatorship and free their country. Finally, the local battalion commander ordered the storming of the Capitol building. This was resisted by Biden's soldiers, and the Civil War was firmly underway. This rebellion was defeated by the Biden administration, and the rebels quickly retreated to the Mojave to reorganize. Trump would broadcast his news to the American people through his radio station, Enclave Radio. In his first broadcast, he would address the American people and Joe Biden directly. Here is an old recording of it in full. Hello again. This is Enclave Radio. I am your host, President Donald Trump, the voice of warmth and reason in this cold and libtarded world. There is something I'd like to talk to you about. I've been thinking quite a bit lately, which I think we can all relate to. I am referring, of course, to everyone's favorite hobby, big goth mommy milkers. I believe that this will save America from extinction under Biden's dictatorship. The American Commonwealth is a disgrace, and before you know it, Biden will invade and annex Canada and have us at war with communist China in Anchorage. China will not get our resources, and Biden will not get our country. January 6th may have been a disaster, but the Battle of the Mojave is just about to begin. We have recruited exactly 10,000 ex-Counter-Strike players to our army, so we are in good hands. Be safe, my fellow gamers. Most of Trump's Patriots consist of ex-Army veterans, gamers, and conservative college students. Oh, and your Vietnam veteran uncle. Meanwhile, Biden can muster the professional army of the American Commonwealth, and both sides have access to power armor. Joe Biden took a fascist approach, claiming that after the Civil War is over, America will enter its golden years as the American Reich. This dream, however, would not be achieved until after total nuclear destruction. The Battle of the Mojave was brutal, but Trump's Patriots would hold on until the last. Just before Trump could pull off his next military action, he was informed that Biden had launched nuclear weapons against America, China, and Russia. With all hope lost, most of the population went underground into vaults. The Mojave was now the center of a new America, and Trump would make the most of this. Leading his people through hardships and starvation, Trump would settle his people in the northwest of the Mojave and establish his new nation, the Enclave. This new nation would forever claim to be the legitimate American government, urging the people of the wasteland to follow their direction. The Enclave would set up their new base and develop technology with the goal of annexing the whole Mojave Desert and forming a new America. His rival Biden would set up the American Bund and establish this state in the northeast of the Mojave. A third faction would consist of what remained of the American military after the bombs dropped. The American Commonwealth would dominate most of the land and would also claim to be the legitimate government. They were mostly led by ex-army generals and congressmen. Quite often, Enclave soldiers would kill wastelanders and raid settlements. Trump would continue to lead this faction, welcoming new members who apply to join through the Discord. Any new player into the Arma server may encounter Enclave patrols, but may be shot if entering their base without permission. Enclave radio still broadcasts with addresses from Trump himself. If this faction suits you, consider joining. Trump would establish contacts with Mr. House in the economically independent New Vegas, situated in the middle of the map, acting as the spawn point and safe zone. Mr. House would conduct business with the Enclave and accept Trump's domination of his base, and agree that fake news media spread the leftist agenda and caused the nuclear strikes. Mr. House said that he also voted for Trump in 2020.
We will return to the New Vegas neutral spawn zone in a later video. But for now, the scene was set for uninterrupted patrols around New Vegas after the deal between the two leaders. The military composition of the Enclave in the server depends on how Trump has organized it in the faction.
The faction has a variety of units available to join, from frontline foot soldiers in power armor equipped with plasma weapons to officers, Hellfire soldiers, Tesla soldiers, and scientists. They also typically fly around in their own vertibirds. This is definitely a clan that prides itself on skill and military training. This is just one example of many factions and states in Arma Anarchy. See what you can do in the wasteland by joining the server and the Discord. Contribute all of your money to it and suggest new ideas. President Trump salutes you. President,